Hey guys, Mr. Plant Geek here. I've got something really new to show you today. I've been thinking recently about Kokedama. We usually have these as balls of moss surrounding plants that are then hanging, either as a houseplant or outdoors. But they tend to be a bit of a nuisance because you water them and then they drip everywhere, and I've kind of been thinking about how I could do Kokedamas but sitting on a table, maybe almost as little moss mounds. And I'm going to do those for indoors as well as outdoors, and I'm going to use some really gorgeous spring plants outside, and we're basically going to make little moss wraps for the plants, but place them in saucers as well, so that wherever you place them, you're not going to get watermarks. So I think this is going to be the perfect way to do tabletop Kokedama. Join me. Okay, so we need the perfect soil mix. Okay, so we need the perfect soil mixture for our moss wraps today. So for the perfect mixture, we're going to use 4 parts peat-free compost. We're going to use 2 parts sand, and we're going to use 1 part John Innes number 3, which is a good heavy soil. Okay, we're going to mix up those ingredients with a little bit of water. We basically want to create a bit of a wet cake mix here today. So we mix that up into a bit of a wet cake mix, and then we're actually going to form that into a bit of a mound, push out that moisture, and then make a hole in the center. And that is going to be ready for our plant. So we've got this double flowered primula that we're going to squeeze into that center of our mound, and then build up the sticky soil mixture around the plant to make sure it's got fresh soil all around it, because then when we put it into our moss wrap, it's going to hold on to that moisture so much better than if we just put the root ball in. Okay, so that feels good and firm. It's just the kind of mound shape that I'm looking for here today. So I'm going to move that to the side and then bring in my sheet moss. Responsibly sourced sphagnum moss in sheets is just what you need to create these moss wraps today. I'm then going to carefully lift my plant with all of that mound around it onto that sheet of moss, and then bring up the moss around my plant. Then next I'm going to grab some twine. Okay, we've got some twine. I've got green colour, so that goes with the moss. I'm going to cut off a good length of this and then start to bind my moss wrap. It was your idea to do how to, I just want to find out. But then it was my idea to do something I hadn't done before. Okay, I've slid my string underneath, and then, shock horror, I'm going to bring the string through the center of the plant to then tie that on the other side to make sure that's nice and secure. And then I'm going to continue to bring the string around my moss wrap. So we've got everything nicely wrapped in moss here, our lovely double flowered primrose. Make sure it looks like a good globe as well. Make sure all those bits of moss are just poked in. And then that should be just the right size to drop into our saucer, which then will make watering so much easier as well. So here we go. This is our moss wrapped primrose. I'm going to do hellebore, some double daisies, and maybe a fern or 2 as well. What do you think? Very nice outside on the patio, giving that real natural look. So you haven't got a plastic pot, you've got something completely natural looking. This is a lot easier to care for than Kokedama. You haven't got it dripping around your lounge or your patio. We've got that saucer at the base, which is almost disguised by the fact we've got this in a moss bowl. So I think this is a really easy maintenance way of having your plants on the patio or outdoor table this winter and into spring. We've got these gorgeous double flowered primroses. These are moss wrapped plants. Next big thing.